So today, I'm talking about the 10th house in astrology. Okay, so let's get all of the typical things out of the way. 10th house, ruled by Capricorn, which also rules Saturn, which, Saturn, it's discipline. It's the fathering energy inside of us. It is the part of us that tells us, oh, that looks like shit, start over. Okay. Now, it has been known, the 10th house, to be referred to as the house of world leaders. Okay, now I know that that puts in your mind the actual world leaders, but please think more in terms of your world. Okay, like in my world, I do not need to be told, because I know that when it comes to all things healing through one's own efforts, I'm your girl. I am your mentor, your guide. Yes, I'm a life coach as well as an astrologer. I'm also a former, what you call, personal trainer, dance teacher. And there is a story behind those things I just said. Okay. The 10th house is also the legacy house. It is, you know, the things that we were endowed with by the generations prior to ours, including all the hamajang shit, all the shitty shit. But it also has that signature of what the group, as that group of DNA holders is all about. Okay, so I'm gonna go with my dad's side of the family because I actually identify more with his family than I did my mother's. But in my father's family, there are therapists, there are educators from, tiny kind kids all the way up to, doctorate school, not doctor school, doctorate school, PhD school. There are hula teachers, music teachers, gym teachers, all kind teachers. As well, lots of ordained people. Hence the reason why I identify more with that side of the family than I did my mother's side of the family. And my mom's side, it's all the cooking stuff, which is still related to the 10th house, at least in my case. But we're going to go with that whole work in the world thing, which, yes, what I'm doing here is part of my work in the world, clarifying things for other people that are so mystically written by all these gurus who want to charge you an arm and a leg for things that you don't even know you already know. And the way that you become masterful at those kind of things is to be kept in the dark. Okay, and so I have a couple aunties on my dad's side who like to keep me in the dark, use all this mystical language. Unfortunately for them, they never think, oh, maybe that girl, she writes, she might know what that means. Oh, yeah, she sure did. Okay, and I mentioned hula. For me, hula has been something I've done for 50 years, since I was 3 years old. It became my daily work in the world for a very long set of years. I danced hula in front of crowds for a long time, from the time I was a kid, 12, 13 years old. As time, progressed, I had a hula halau. I helped my cousin's wife with her hula halau. And, eventually, as time changed, so does what we do with what we know. Now, I mentioned I am a life coach. I've been called a healer. I am an astrologer. I went to college to become an actual college professor. And none of that happened in terms of, this is my job. No, this is my job. No, this is my job. Actually, all of those things are part of my life's work. Okay, the way that I teach hula now is through a workshop. And it's not, you're going to do your uehe ame and slide more better. It is, okay, you folks, Hula is my medicine. Okay? When you mix music with movement, the body will heal. That's not duh, you know this already. Okay, so there's that. And then coupling all of that, college I went to, life coaching classes, certification, this, that, and the other. There's the life experience that taught me what I was supposed to do with all those things, even though I never know that that's what the life experience was doing. Okay. My blood relatives, a lot of them would tell you that I'm exaggerating. No, I'm not exaggerating when I say I come from, on both sides of my family, some terrifically expert bulliers. Terrifically expert, don't even know they are abusive abusers. And right now, if any of them is watching this, they're going, there she go again, making a big deal out of nothing. Excuse me? Big deal out of nothing. Of course, they would feel that way. They weren't the ones who had to go through it. I was. In order to do what? To change the freaking narrative. Okay? People don't like being bullied. People don't like being teased for being different. People not going to, just cower to your demands. And hello, I'm people. And for plenty of years, I was given plenty of bullshit for not being like everybody else. And by being like everybody else, I do mean adhering to the rules of dead people. I can't do it. I was not putting my kids through all of that shit so that, their grandparents and that generation could be happy. And what? Fuck my generation? Nah, I don't think so. So, the way that my 10th house and anybody's 10th house is expressed starts in the 6th house. I just mentioned that, used to teach hula. I've been a personal trainer. I am an ordained minister. I'm a certified life coach. And hell yeah, I read astrology. I also went to college, like I said, to be a college professor. That part didn't happen, but what did happen is I am still a teacher. Hi, I'm right here teaching you folks about all this astrology stuff. And as an ordained person, I have conducted healing dance classes, have done, outside by the pool, underneath the moon, healing dance sessions where we're out there, in front of God and all the deities, bringing healing to things that need to be healed. Some of those things are, not physicalities yet. But that is what my everyday 6th house has produced, okay? And that it is the 10th house we're talking about. It takes a little bit of time to get there. 10th house is, midlife. Hello, I'm 53. So when we are talking about the 10th house, we are not talking about what you went to college for. We are talking about how masterful you have become at the things that involve that degree, involve that working at this company for years and years. What is it that you learned that you are completely, totally masterful at? You are confident in that. You know that this is what your calling is. If you don't know that this is what your calling is by the time you are my age, 53, time to go backwards, time to look back in your, in your memory at all of the jobs that you've held from the time you had your first job. Hell, go all the way back to the time when you was a small kid and you was playing pretend and this is the job you had all that whole time. For me, was teacher. I was a teacher. Because, I was a bossy little kid sometimes. But here we are. Okay? So if the 9th house is your higher education, okay, meaning any kind of higher education, could be actual college, it could be trade school, but it is always rooted in the things you're supposed to know. Okay? The whole idea that you are here on a mission. Okay, so the ninth house is your soul's education. And sometimes that education is totally had in college. Okay, because before you go college, you have your first job. Your first job always entails something, we hope that you like to do. If not, your first job also serves you with the ability to use these gifts and these qualities that you're going to need to elevate yourself over the years into midlife to the 10th house of mastery. Okay? Now, I'm not going to say that I'm the best healer, the best life coach, the best this, the best that. I'm going to say that when it comes to someone needing to heal themselves from emotional pain caused usually by a lifetime of trauma is different for each of us. I don't like being bullied. I was bullied for the majority of my life. I don't like to be beat up again. Okay, I had a very physical upbringing. And it's those things that we have to find our way out of in the creative manner, whether it's good or bad, that brings us from the sixth house, where we will encounter all these things where we're going to have to deal with on an everyday basis, whether it's your job or your home life or school life, whatever. Sixth house is your day to day, shit, including your job. Once it gets to the 10th house, you better know what you're doing. You usually will know what you're doing, okay? The 10th house is the house of legacies, mentorship, all that kind of stuff I mentioned. I come from shrinks, I come from ministers, I come from educators, I come from all those kind of people. However, it doesn't look like everybody else's. I don't have one fancy office. I don't have no fancy degrees every place. I have all of my experiences from being married to a very abusive person after having grown up with a bunch of people who demanded a lot of things but never really rewarded anybody. They just demanded more things. And when that happens and people are always in your damn face about something or another, you end up becoming a people pleaser. I know that I sure did. So what happened? Well, when the universe and my Amakua, my ancestors, had enough of my shit, and, I don't know, enough to get out of my way back in 2016, 17, here comes the wrecking ball. Took me and my children out of that family situation. Why? Because there's no way those kids was going to go through what I went through. So there you have the whole healing element, the ripping of the Band-Aid or the scab right off. So that what? Actual healing can happen through what? Every day working at it, raising up oneself to the 10th house energy. And, well, days turn into months and years and all that kind of stuff. And eventually, after you've gone through and gotten used to and learned and have mastered yourself in that, position of legacy when you get to middle age, where you are able confidently, even if you screw up, you're confident about why you screwed up, and you are confident enough to go, okay, let's try again. Okay. That's the 6th house to the 10th house. Okay. So in order for the 10th house to be what it is, the 6th house, you got to put some effort into that bugger. Okay. So way down here in the 6th house, you're still in your early 20s. Go up to the 7th house, which is, contractual agreements, including marriage. 8th house, that's, other people's money. There's legacies. There's all kinds of stuff. Wills. Of course, you would be making a will Or you would have some kind of legacy that you would build with your spouse, your partner, whatever. By that time, you should have enough knowledge in life. Okay, when you go through the ninth house of higher learning, you should have enough by that time to master things. Myself, I have repeated it several times. My 10th house is all in Taurus. Get the moon, Saturn, Mars there. And Mars is right on the midheaven, which is another video. But with those three things there, it makes all the sense in the world that it would take me this long. What? To get the hell out of my crazy family, to become widowed by my children's father, to go through another very bad relationship, so that I could come out on the other side to this really great relationship, all this knowledge that is experiential. Ain't no books about it. Okay, I mean, okay, yeah, there are, but I never write them. Why? I am living them. This is my life's work, bringing clarity and then teaching people what to do with that clarity. Maybe that clarity comes out in what? Some kind of artistic pursuit, dance, drawing, painting, theater, whatever. Maybe it's through other things like growing one garden. I get one garden back here. Okay, so all these things that equal healing in somebody's life are the things that took me all of my life till midlife, till now, to master. Do I make a ton of money? Hell no, not yet. I will. How do I know? Because I know. But this doesn't mean that you won't. It doesn't mean that you won't be masterful. You won't, but you got to go through all the shit you go through in order to become masterful at something. And that is what the 10th house is all about. Mastering our life's experiences so that we can go, mentor, teach other people. Doesn't mean that you're going to be a teacher. It means that from those experiences, through the job that you hold, maybe even, you are teaching others constantly. Okay? And your 10th house is where that is shown. Okay, so I hope you get what I just said. I'll be back. Mahalo for watching. I'll be back. Bye.